It is that time. I am pumped up for tonight's show, you guys. You are live in effect with Coach Wood, Q the Guru, and this is the Locker Room Show, y'all. This is where you come every single Thursday to get your football fix. This is organic. This is grassroots. This is where we don't hold back. We bring you behind the locker room doors and we share what you need to know. So I'm excited about tonight's show. Let's get right into it. And first and foremost, I want to introduce my boy that holds me down every single Thursday, none other than the guy to the far right, Q, the Guru. What's going on, Guru?
What's going on, Coach? What's going on? How you feeling this week, man?
We got a Jayhawk.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. We got some great topics, man. We got a lot to touch on. Man, been waiting to get my man 4-5 on for a while. Got some good things to talk about what he's doing. But, yeah, it's a lot going on in the football world. A lot going on, as usual.
As usual, baby,
right.
and that's why we bring it to you every single Thursday. But don't let me hold back anymore. You guys see the gentleman that we have in the middle of the screen, you guys. This is somebody that was a dog coming out of Southern California. He went on, you guys, to sign with the Kansas Jayhawk, Rock Chalk, and take his talents to Lawrence, Kansas, you guys, where he was knocking people's heads off. So much to the degree that he got an NFL opportunity, went on to play in the Arena League and in Canada. I know a couple of my Arena League boys are tuning in tonight, and really has a lot to share, you guys. Right now, he's working with student athletes. This is a new day and age, especially with NIL, and he's got some secret sauce for you. So I don't want to hold back. We've got none other than the great JJ Johnson. What's going on?
Oh man, not much, man. Just enjoying life. The main thing, man, is just the opportunities that I had, coming out of South Central LA. We figuring out as adults, we got to get back to these kids, man, because the coaches, the schools, they really don't know how. So at the end of the day, we got to do it as mentors and as ex-players.
Yeah, that's big right there, JJ.
Definitely.
And, that's why we got you on tonight. We've been wanting to have you on. I know that Q has been an advocate for you to come on. I see some of our people coming in, the great Richard Mancera coming in saying, yes, sir, we got superstar Sadike Green coming out of SoCal himself, probably going to head to UNLV. So superstar right there. We've got Jackie coming in. Tyler saying that he loves the show. And then, of course, my mother-in-law, she kicked me to the curb if I didn't hold her down and shout her out. So my mama checking in for Denver saying another great night for another great show. So let's get into it, you guys. This is, like you said in the opening, a lot going on. A lot going on in the football industry, and we don't want to hesitate. We got a great guest tonight. So let's talk about it, man, from LA to Lawrence, Kansas. That's a big difference. The city of lights and become who you want to become to head to the Midwest. Head to the Midwest and rocking the Rock Chalk. So I wanted to ask you, JJ, how does somebody go from LA all the way to Lawrence, Kansas?
Oh man, it's a funny story, man. It's twofold. One thing, I grew up in a big city. So going to a college in a big city, I wanted to see what it was going to be like, a difference, right? Then second, the movie Menace to Society. If you think about it, the guy said he's going to Kansas in the movie, right? So I had a lot of jokes about that growing up, but honestly, growing up in a big city, man, I just wanted to see what it was going to be like living in a small town, experience that small town atmosphere. Being in USC backyard, UCLA across the town, I knew what it was like being in a big city. Second, KU gave me the opportunity to walk on a basketball team. Basketball is my first love. And of course, you got to keep your grades up to play both of those. And being 6'1" at the time, I knew basketball really wasn't in my future. And so then lastly, Danny Manning led Kansas to the championship in '88. And I just fell in love with basketball. That was about sixth grade for me. Fell in love with basketball and the colors. And so when the opportunity came knocking, it was like a no-brainer for me. Like, wow, I can't believe it. But at the end of the day, man, I believe that just having that Midwest grounding, because in college we become young men to men, right? And it was just a different environment. Meeting people from all over the country, north, south, east, and west, having that country upbringing, stability. It was nice. So that was one of the main reasons why I went there. And also, lastly, the living condition. We had a thing called Jayhawk Towers where we had our own apartments. I never seen a cow king until I got to college, and we had that, right? So that was a big experience as well.
Yeah, it was dope.
Wow, that's huge right there. So no regrets to a young man in LA right now. You would recommend maybe looking into KU?
It was I would say it was shocking, right? It was shell shock. First time I went to class, looked around, and I was like, nah, that's not for me. And student counselor called me back and said, well, what you gonna do? Go back home. I think her name was Kim Barger. And at the end of the day, I was like, nah, I can't do that. So you just have to, you got to adapt to your surroundings, right? And my father always taught me something. He said the ABC, remember your ABCs, and that was always be cool. So at the end of the day, I try to keep that in my back pocket. Didn't always work, but I try to keep that in my back pocket.
Right.
I love it. I love it right there. Heading on to our next topic, and this one's a good one, man, because I know that after KU, you had a chance to play some pro ball, and I know sometimes, Q, we've talked about it before, but sometimes you're waiting by the phone. You waiting by the phone for your agent to call you for that workout or that training camp spot. And there's some kids waiting by the phone as we speak, for maybe a walk-on opportunity or something like that. So I wanted to run it by you, JJ, when you were thinking back to those days where you just wanted a shot, man, what kept you going, and what's maybe some advice you could give to some of these young athletes waiting right now?
The main thing is to keep working. Don't let the agents come to you, or don't let the film, don't stop the film from going out. But you got to keep working. I think a lot of guys get complacent. At the same time, for me, I had a son my senior year, so I had a mouth to feed. At the same time, which we'll touch on later, but a lot of us athletes come from environments where a lot of people depend on us, right? And you don't want to let them down, so that keeps you going as well. You try to fulfill your dreams. But the main thing is to keep working. I mean, you got to keep that. You got to keep working. That work ethic that you develop while you're in your 4-year university, no matter what level it is, you develop a work ethic. There's not too many people that's getting up at 3, 4, 5 a.m. going to those workouts. Then mandatory class. Then you have film. Then you have your weight room again. Then you have film practice. And then after that, you have mandatory study hall, right? And that's a regimen. That's a 12-hour regimen that you develop at the age of 18. It's almost being in the military. So those are certain things that you have to remember, and that guides you once the school is not pushing you anymore. You have to develop that yourself.
That's amazing right there, JJ. And Q, I mean, obviously you live the same environment, the same day-to-day that he did. And then talk to me a little bit, Q, about maybe coming out of St. Louis, where you came out of a really good program, man. Was there some guys that you played against or played with that should have got a shot and didn't get a shot to go play college ball?
I mean, man. I mean, one, man, definitely, would have been my roommate, man. Man, Mike Allen was he was the main reason, man, why I, ended up in Kansas after the unfortunate LSU situation, man. So it was like, the reason, man, the other reason why I was looking at KU and it was a good fit is because it was already guys, from where I was from that was so successful. Isaac Berg from St. Louis, dog. Dorian Brew from St. Louis, a dog. My super OG, Ronnie Ward from my high school, St. Louis, a dog. So it was like everything, and then I get there, right? And I got JJ, I got Ron Warner. So my transition was a lot easier maybe than most people because I had all these OGs around me, man, at 17, 18. It really took me up under their wing, man, and it made it a lot easier for me, man. It really did. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't live the same life as maybe a lot of freshmen. I had it super easy because I had these dudes. You know what I'm saying? So
how about that kid? How about that kid that didn't get to go to KU like you? That didn't get that call or that scholarship like you. How do I know whether or not to keep pursuing this thing? Man, JJ had a kid, he was talking about college to the pro, but he had a mouth to feed. Let's say I'm in high school and I think I got some talent. I made some plays. I was all conference, but I didn't get a D1 offer. How do I know whether or not to keep pursuing this thing?
Man, it's gotta be, man. It's all heart, man. It's gotta be. You'll know. And I mean, we've had so many, man, great guests, man. And this question, this isn't the first time this question has come up. And you gotta, it's something that's gotta be in you, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you might have people around you that may motivate you, but it's still gotta be in you, man. If you still really want to go after it. And that's the thing when you're a young kid, man. When you're young, you think, man, your goal is always A to B is a straight line. And in reality, it's like this. It's a long, winding path, man. You know, and you're gonna have to be a man to walk that path. And either you're gonna have the heart to walk it or you not. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. That's a great point. You may experience that at every level. You know, it may not happen for you high school to college, but college to the pro. You know, and speaking of, Rock, go ahead.
Another topic you gotta look at too. A lot of athletes that go to junior college, community college might be the best athletes, right? Because you can't pass a test. Back when we were in school, you had to pass the SAT and the ACT. And a lot of guys couldn't pass that. So some of the best competition was in the community college.
Great point. Great point right
low
there.
Key, that's fact.
And speaking of talent, we got the great Ron Warner coming in. Rock Chalk, former KU great, saying talk about the quad. I don't know, the quad must have went down.
That was basically the class of '94. We developed our own brotherhood because again, once you have a bunch of guys from all over the country coming from different environments, you really can't depend on the upperclassmen because they bully you, quote unquote. We're not gonna say they haze you, but you go through it, right? So the class of '94, we came together, and the class of '95 was the Pups, the '96. So we all had nicknames for ourselves,
right?
But it just created more of a brotherhood with everyone that was in there.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, and
man.
I could always tell that when Q brings in his KU family, that you guys are tight. So I love it. Going on to our next topic, and hopefully some of you young athletes that are waiting on the phone, get some advice out of that. But we're headed on to our next topic, you guys, and this one was one that definitely caught my attention because, for one, I really think that the young man has a future. But for two, I think that it's not just him. I think it's not just him going through this. And Stetson Bennett, two-time national champ from the University of Georgia, draft pick of the LA Rams, said that he needed to take a break. He needed a year off, you guys. He was drafted last year, sat out the entire year due to wanting to get his mental health back on track. And, obviously there's some things in the CBA that allow these guys to do it. But also, it sounds like the Rams are pretty serious about supporting him during this. And it sounds like he's ready to go. So I'll throw it to you, Q. First, why don't we see more athletes, either at the pro level or the college level, saying, hey, I need a year off?
Man, a lot of times, man, it's just like JJ just mentioned, man, about being a lot like the military. It is, man. Like when you look at other than boxing, man, football is so physically and mentally tasking, but it toughens you to the point where most guys are gonna go out on their shield, man. Look at Junior Seau. Like it's a long list of guys, man, with CTE or other issues, man, mentally or emotionally, but they always are gonna, if they have a choice, they're gonna strap it up anyway and go out on their shield despite knowing good and well it's something going on with them. It's just that this kid just had enough sense to actually give himself a break. Most guys not gonna do that. They gonna know something's wrong and they gonna play right through it. It'll cost them, but that's just the nature, man, of the average football player, because you already got to be a different built dude to play this sport in the first place.
Well said right there, JJ. I mean, I think back in our day, they say put some dirt on it and get your butt back out there. Today, they're a lot more mindful of what these young men are going through. Did you ever feel, looking back, maybe you didn't notice it during your career, but you had a long career, especially when you include the pro part. So do you ever feel, looking back on your career, that you ever were going through mental health issues when you were playing?
I would definitely say that mental is there. It's a topic that, again, our era, we didn't really know about, right? I think social media did help enlighten a lot of people about mental health. It was shown to talk about, especially in the African American community. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
You know, we had different environment we have to deal with. You got to be tough. We were raised in our household. Don't go outside speaking house business. When you're in school, right? You see something go on in school or in the streets, don't say anything. So, as a gladiator, as a football player, you know, you want to make your family proud. You know, have your mom and dad at practice, you get dinged up. You're not gonna go home crying. They're gonna put you right back out there. Have a story I got a story for you. You know, my bike got stolen as a little kid. My mom took me around the corner and made me fight the kid to get my bike back. So you're raised as a gladiator. But at the end of the day, as we get older, we don't know really what we're going through. I just found out about 5 years ago in coaching that once you have a headache from hitting, that's a concussion. Well, we were taught as little kids, hit him until you get a headache, right? So it's certain things and guidelines that athletes go through. Also, at the same time, I touched on it earlier where as athletes, you have a lot of people depending on you. So just using Stetson as an example, the guy was a two-time national champ at Georgia, and now he's what a undrafted free agent to where he's not the best anymore, right? So that's something else that's challenging you mentally to where, man, I used to be this guy. Now I'm at the end of the bench or I'm sitting in the last chair in the room. And it starts again from the college level all the way up to where now you see a lot of mental health counselors on college on college campuses for the athletes, and it's not just football.
Yeah, no, I think, and actually he was drafted. It looks like he was drafted in the 4th round, and it looks like he was pretty secure to be behind Matt Stafford last year. But he just said I can't do it. So they're hoping this year he can fulfill on that draft choice. But you know, kudos to him for being willing. I think a lot of guys may be willing to lose. They're not willing to lose that spot on the depth chart, you know. And then I think fear, you know, the fear of maybe the coaches in the league saying it's okay, but you feel the ramifications later. So hopefully we'll keep an eye on this. You know, hopefully he bounces back, has an amazing backup season, and maybe more guys need to take this break that Stetson took. And I see the great Kurt Johnson coming in, another KU great wide receiver, Rock Chalk, and midweek. I got 1234. I might be saying that wrong. JJ speaking facts. Yes, indeed. He's always.
I do have a question, though. I do have a question just to throw a little wrinkle in the subject matter, though, Coach. And think about this. I want to put this on your mind. Do you think taking a year off for an African American quarterback with the same situation, if that try, do you think that spot would still be there?
The spots still being there. I don't think the color has anything to do with the spot still being there. I think it's an organization thing. But to JJ's point, I think it would be harder maybe from the cultural or the family friend standpoint. You know, my dad would have been like, you ain't playing this year. Like, would you like that would have been hard to conceptualize probably.
And it could be a team culture thing, right? Like I said, it's the Rams, it's LA.
I think it is.
A little bit more diverse thinking in comparison if it was the old school Patriots with Belichick there.
Yeah.
Right. It could be a organization, but I'm saying in general, like for example, maybe if this was a different organization, I don't see that flying.
Is there a dynamic because it's a quarterback? You know,
well, that too.
You know, where I need him to have this faculty, right? You know, as opposed to just some corner or something that went in the court. You know, so it's interesting. But hey, he took a year off. He said he's ready to go. Some of you athletes, you definitely need to consider your mental health so that you can perform to the highest of your capability. So thank you guys for talking about that. On to, and speaking of your mentals and being able to perform to your greatest capabilities. Let's go on to our next subject, and this is going to my alma mater, Boulder, Colorado, where young Shiloh Sanders has decided, you guys, to file for bankruptcy. This is usually something that we see with pro athletes, but I guess this was actually even stemming from when he was in high school, an altercation with the security guard. The security guard wanted to take legal ramifications, and Shiloh didn't show up. He didn't show up for court, so kind of by default, this guy won the case, and he's suing for millions. And I'll start off with you, JJ. I mean, you've been at the college level exposure, and then you've been at the pro level, but the Sanders family is ultimate exposure. Is this a one-off? Is this a one-off where a guy sees a chance to get some dollars and maybe his dad? Or do you think that this is an ongoing thing for athletes with NIL and everything?
It's definitely a sticky subject just because it's the Sanders family. And then you did a little bit of research behind it, phone calls supposedly allegedly was made for him to step in and do certain things because, you know, the what's going on between the divorce at the time or the separation. But what I would say is that everybody that's associated with the NIL is trying to monopolize on it. So if something happened to a teacher or maybe a sibling even, right? If you have a sibling where your family member is not getting along, you just never know, right? And I think the NIL just opened the doors for just anybody to try to monetize off these student athletes right now. And it's going to be, they still working out the kinks, as we saw judgments just passed on recently that every student athlete is getting paid that's on the team. It doesn't even matter what's a sport. They're trying to figure out how to pay the Title IX sports right now. So again, Q and I talked recently, man, I wish that was me back then because we knew what was going on in Kansas for certain people. Well, everybody would have got it, right? And I'm sure you had the same experience in Colorado with Herschel Troutman and the rest of them, right? It's like everybody gets it. Yeah. So just imagine if you was getting those handshakes or if you was getting those envelopes right in your mailbox. You don't have to secretly do it anymore. It's in the open. Yeah. And then what I love that Snoop said recently is that he's going to start a bowl game, and he's going to show the NIL how to really use their money to take care of the student athletes. Because again, we were a commodity of the NCAA, but now we can take that power back.
Yeah. Wow. Talk to me a little bit, Q. I mean, this is unfortunate that this young man is in college and already filing for bankruptcy. Do you think we see more of this, or you think this is just a Sanders thing?
I mean, man, no, I can agree with JJ, definitely, man. I mean, man, people going to take an opportunity. They don't care if it's a kid or not, man. I think what I hate about it, T, when we first even, we're discussing, this situation that popped up in the media, man, is about, man, this happened back, the situation, man, this happened back in high school. There was a situation that had happened in the lawsuit. That's where, I believe it originally had developed from, man. Kids make mistakes or whatnot. I guess my only thing, and I don't know, obviously we don't know all the ins and outs, but I was trying to figure out maybe why Prime maybe didn't do a little bit more to protect him, or if that was the case, was it that he had an LLC set up and the LLC would have taken the blunt of the bankruptcy and not him individually, So, I mean, we don't know. That's the way it looks like, is maybe he's taking the blunt of it. LLC's taking the blunt of it. Okay, fine. You can bounce back a lot.
I think he was young. Right. So he might not have had one at the time, but now he does. Right. So they're trying to see that line that they can cross and obviously protect his money, protect his chicken. Because his money's a lot different now than it was then. But you brought up a good point, man. Now that you young athletes, some of you guys are in high school listening to this. Some of you guys are in junior college, and that parking attendant gave you $100 ticket. You might want to think twice about how you handle that. So because it can come bite you down the road. And to JJ's point, people see the press clippings. They know that you guys are starting to get paid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be real interesting, man. You guys going out to bars and different things.
Man, I'm telling you, You better go with security, but I'm telling you, babe, Jay, they tell me if it was now and we're in Lawrence, man, dude or
Ron
female,
Warner and all
if you're not on the squad, you're gonna have to sign a waiver to get in the Jayhawk Towers. Anywhere
Yeah, you have to
around
stay
me
locked
or
in
my
your
squad,
apartment,
you're
man.
gonna have to
You gotta
have
stay
to
locked
sign a
away, man.
waiver. Like and then literally, like you have to do like literally though, man. You have to do any and everything you can to protect yourself, man. Literally.
Yeah.
Like people will intentionally, I mean, man, you'll go out this to get some wings, you know, with you and your teammates, man, you know, in college, man, and somebody will bump into you and then here we go, just because they know that money is there. You know,
Exactly.
it's not, it's just man, all I need is a shot in court to try to get the money. That's how people are looking at you, you know, so you really, really have to be cautious, man, everything you doing everywhere you go.
I just had a thought too, you know, and it's really no limit, you guys. I mean, it could be a young freshman that's hot shot, got some NIL cachet coming in, and an old head on the team, you know, an OG that's a little disgruntled. Maybe he knows he's in the portal the next couple days, and he want to throw down, you know. So, yeah. You know, you guys be safe out there, and obviously be mindful as you're moving about, and hopefully young Shiloh can navigate this thing with his family and then figure it out. I don't know everything that happened with the security guard, but we'll soon find out. We're on to our next topic, you guys, and this is a huge one. This is part of the reason why many of you guys may have tuned in tonight, because recruiting is crazy. We're in the recruiting industry with Before You Go Pro, and there's twists and turns every single day with recruiting and the NIL and the transfer portal. But one thing that has been consistent, even when I was playing back in my day, JJ, was that guys would consider reclassifying. There's always talk about the guys out of Texas that might have been a little bit older than us on the West Coast, you know. And now it's a thing, man. It's a thing in every sport that parents are getting hip to. I know that you're developing something with your business partner in this platform. So can you share with us about why somebody would want to reclassify and maybe how to start that process?
I would say first and foremost, the benefits from it is for the student and or student athlete. So you see, I broke that up. Student and or student athlete can mentally, physically, and emotionally mature a couple more years. I know for sure when I came out at 18, there was a lot I needed to work on, right? But just imagine if I came out at 19 going into 20. Now, mentally, I'm a little bit more stable. Emotionally, I'm a little bit more subtle, right? And at the same time, physically, my body wouldn't have been 6'1", 185. It could have been maybe 200 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Better prepared to step into whatever environment is in the play. As we all know, it's a business now. So back when we signed our scholarship, Woods and Q, you already know you sign on. If you're a JUCO transfer, it's 2 and red shirt 1. It's 3 years. If you come out of high school, you sign a straight 5 years. If you red shirt, so be it. If you don't, then you play your 4. But the way it's now, you sign like a 1-year deal. It's a business, and they're gonna take the best of the best. So what the opportunity does, and what my founder of a company that we got rolling out, Russell Shaw, Highest Level Academy, which will be coming back when we're both in the same setting, is basically a one-stop shop. And a lot of parents don't know how to go about it. We're really working on it right now. We're in probably, I would say, 70% done. So when it does drop and roll out, we'll definitely drop it on this platform so we can get it out to everyone. But at the same time, we'll have all the social media links and platforms ready for you. I don't want to give too much information right now because, again, my founder, Russell Shaw, he was the main brain behind it. But at the end of the day, we've been talking about something like this since we were kids. And now, since the NIL just, really have boomed and monetized the game, things that we've been doing already for free for kids, we might as well get a little bit of it too. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, definitely. If you're serving people, you deserve to be compensated. So in your heart of hearts, JJ, you feel that this is a strategic advantage for student athletes?
It's definitely a strategic advantage for student athletes, more so athletes, because at the end of the day, you spend 6 to 8 hours in school. Now you have an online platform where you're doing your work, and the coursework is not going to be really strenuous for you to sit there for 6 to 8 hours. You might knock out everything in a couple hours. Now that gives you time to train for those 4 to 6 hours, right? In comparison, when we were in school all day, we only get to train for maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a huge advantage to develop your body, right? And then from a mental standpoint, you get to work with your mentors. If you think about it, you have guys like Shiloh. I mean, not Shiloh, Shador. He's working with Tom Brady at the age of 9th grade. Everybody don't have a Tom Brady that they can call and say, hey, let's go out there and toss the ball and let's look at film together. But if you can catch them and find just a regular coach who has like the three of us, we all specialize in our specific skill sets, and we have time to work with a student athlete. Just imagine where they can be at.
Yeah, they head
instead
and
of the
shoulders
1 hour
above.
or two that they have in practice.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this, Q?
I mean, I look at it like, and again, T, it's about, man, a lot of I look at it for the mental maturity of you having time to further mentally mature and maybe eliminate, man, look at all the off the field mistakes that we've talked about on the show. Think about all the, the drunk driving issues of what you've matured a year. A year can make a world of difference. So that's one thing I look at is not doing the stupid stuff at 17, 18 versus, like you said, 19 going into 20. You're more, you're more of a young man. You've learned a lot within that year and a half, man. Reclassifying could save you thousands or millions, and also too, developing your body again. You can come in, as a freshman now and start right away because you've developed. I don't need the red shirt or anything and put on 15 to 20 pounds, weight. I'm ready to go right now at my position.
And this is somewhat of kind of a little secret, kind of industry secret from the past, right?
Yeah. And it's like that's the whole name of the game. And I mean, we talking NIL, right? So it's like the quicker I can get on the field, the more opportunity for NIL. I can make. I'm on the field immediately. I'm out there as a freshman. Oh man, you about to get it.
And that's more money in your family pocket because
there you
don't know if you may have a career-ending injury in college or like myself who got beat up in college, knees and shoulders. So at the end of the day, if they would have had this around back when we played, you're at least leaving college as a thousandaire, a big time thousandaire. It may not be a millionaire, but the one thing about it, it also teaches financial literacy for a lot of student athletes who don't have it, right? Because you have to develop LLCs when you come out. You have to develop trust. It's not just you get the money and blow it. So again, you have to have an advocate, a mentor in your back pocket. And highest level is the academy that we're working with. It's going to teach every student athlete all of that and their families.
Yeah.
Wow, that's big. So this is just another option, you guys, and we're always wanting to keep you guys privy to all your options. That's why you come to the Locker Room Show, so you got to do what's right for you as an individual athlete and for your family. But this is another option, you guys. And sometimes guys go to JC, sometimes guys go to prep school and they kind of reclassify down the road, but this isn't intentional. This isn't intentional on the front end. If I'm an athlete's parent that's maybe thinking about this, JJ, is there a timeline where it's too late, or is there a timeline where there's the best time to be thinking about this?
Definitely. You can't do it in high school. Once you get in high school, your clock starts ticking. So the target is pretty much the middle school grade level. And at the same time, the curriculum is the same from number 1 state to the 50th state, right? Because middle school curriculum is the same. High schools is where it differ at. But in high school, again, what Coach Shaw and I understood and developed is that a lot of student athletes, like we talked about now, there are a lot of guys end up in community colleges because their high schools didn't offer certain classes. Prime example, when I went to Kansas, I didn't have a wood shop class. It was 2 arts I was mentioning, wood shop and auto shop. Well, my school didn't even offer that class. So back then, you mail it, and then the coaches, the counselors look at it, they mail it back. So you talking about maybe a month. When I got that letter back in March, they said, "Oh, we can't. You don't meet the mission." What? So my mother signed me up for a Saturday school. Then I had to go to night school, right? But now with Highest Level Academy, we'll have courses also online for our platform for high school students who are missing something, and we also will assist with the clearinghouse number, obtaining your clearinghouse number, and things like that, where a lot of parents and our high school coaches don't even know. Because we all know a lot of these high school coaches are YouTube coaches. I hate to say it, Madden coaches, right? They never played the game.
Right.
So they just get a job because it's an extra stipend. But do they really care about the kids? So this platform is making sure that kids, and again, it's not just football. We're branching out to male and female sports. The one tidbit, flag football is now going to be an Olympic sport for women, right? So it's going to eventually be a college sport.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And actually it already is at the NAIA level, and there's some girls getting scholarships. So a lot in Q. We always say the industry will give us something to talk about, baby.
Yeah.
So we will keep you guys posted on this angle, you guys, as things get off the ground with JJ's business partner. Well, obviously, guys, we'll keep you posted on this angle. But for right now, you guys, we are headed to the next portion of the show, and that is the lightning round. The lightning round, you guys, where every single week we bring in our guest, and we put them through a little bit of word association. So this is our version of word association. I've got a list for JJ tonight. Maybe some people he knows, maybe some people he don't know on this list. But he's supposed to tell us the first thing that comes to his mind. Unfiltered, quad style. He's supposed to tell us the first thing that comes to his mind. So we gonna rock and roll and see how good JJ does tonight. And I got a pretty good list. And we don't just do this for fun, y'all. So if you're tuning into the Locker Room Show for the first time, there's actually a little wager on this. I'm about to come out of my pocket because we put a dinner on this, JJ. So if you can get to
boy.
Okay. So I know you're right outside the Bay Area. I know you're in Northern California. I don't know if you got your favorite food spot yet, but if you can get to 16 or higher, it's a dinner on me and Q. Okay.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. All right. So let me get the stopwatch ready. And let's see what we got in store for the great JJ Johnson. All right. So we got the stopwatch ready. He's at 0. Ain't no cheating.
Hey,
and then
Jay Real tripping.
Hey, man, that Kansas shit, man. Come on, man. Look at Jay Real just said,
All right, Jay Real. So we about to see what he got. We got to see if he got it. We got him at 0. This is the lightning round.
And I plead the fifth, man.
Hey, you better do. Hey, the homies watching, bro. You about to get drove.
All right.
Oh,
First thing that comes to your mind, JJ, and you get 1 for tech delay. So even if you get to 16, you're in the mix. But you're shooting for 17. All right, first one. Number 1. First thing that comes to JJ's mind. LA Jefferson High. Go.
Beast.
Glenn Mason.
Ha. That's it.
Ride a motorcycle or ride a bull?
I didn't hear that. Say it again.
Motorcycle
ride
or
a motorcycle or ride a bull?
Motorcycle.
Best player you ever played against?
I did. What you say, Q?
Best player you ever
played against?
Oh, shit. Damn. Dominique Raiola.
All right. Yeah.
Derek Brooks or Junior Seau?
Seau.
Kirby Smart or Dabo Sweeney?
Kirby.
Favorite Michael Jackson song?
I didn't hear that one. There's echo.
Favorite Michael Jackson song?
Beat it.
Cruise to the Bahamas or a week in Paris?
Man, Bahamas, man.
O.J. Simpson, 10 seconds.
I didn't hear the last one.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. He did it. I know you said one word, but man.
Enchiladas or burrito?
What?
Enchiladas
or burrito?
The loudest who?
Enchiladas or burrito?
Oh, burritos, man.
Janet Jackson or Sade?
Ooh, Janet.
All right. We gave him a little extra time because there was some tech delay, but we're going to revisit and we're going to count them up. We gonna
Hey, I
count
thought
them
it was gonna
up.
cover. I thought it was gonna cover some Kansas questions. Boy, I start sweating. Man,
You have to plead the fifth.
ooh,
You have to plead the fifth, dog.
So let's revisit. Let's add them up. Let's add them up. We ain't gonna put you on the spot that hard in the locker room. But number one, L.A. Jefferson High. That's his old high school. Out of L.A. He said beast. He was a great player, you guys, coming out of there. Dual sport kid, actually had Division II offers for basketball, and then you heard him say he could have walked on at KU for basketball too. Glenn Mason, that's the coach that recruited him, but he said, not feeling him. We'll move on to the next question. He's going with the motorcycle over the bull for number 3. Best player, he's going with Dominic Raiola, former O-lineman from Nebraska. His son is currently there. He's going with the Junior Seau for number 4 over the Derek Brooks. He's going with the Kirby Smart over the Dabo Sweeney for the number 5. Favorite Michael Jackson song for number 6 is Beat It. He's going with the Bahamas over the week in Paris for number 7. OJ at number 8. He said he did it. OJ ain't here no more, but he did it. Number 9, he's going with the enchiladas over the burrito. And then number 10, he's going with the Janet Jackson over the Sade. And
if you're nasty, right?
For the Chick-fil-A, he gets one extra. So 11 for the great JJ Johnson. We appreciate you having some fun with us for the lightning round, man. That's cool right there. And Cam J came in and said he's over there rolling over some of them answers. But we excited, man, to have JJ on. Great information, especially for you athletes and parents that may want to think about reclassifying. And then last but not least, you guys, we're on to our audience portion, the Q&A. The comment section is live. I see some Jayhawks in here. So if you got a question for JJ, feel free to put it in the comment section. And then I know the great Q, the Guru's got something.
Yeah, so 4-5, my question is, man, like, I know we're down here in Texas, man. I'm down here in Houston, obviously, and they're looking to start with the high schoolers with NIL opportunities. I just wanted your opinion on, man, like what type of parameters, man, should they put on at least the high schools? Even if I know college is running wild, but at least if they're gonna do the high schools, especially in California, Florida, Texas being the hotbeds, what if any parameters on NIL should they put on these players?
Or should it be a free-for-all?
Oh, yeah, or should it not be any at all? Yeah.
I think the main thing for me, it needs to be stipulations as like, think about the old movie Blue Chips, right?
Classic.
It shouldn't go to the student athlete per se. It needs to go straight into a trust or it's like an LLC, right? So, a student should be rolling around like Shiloh brought himself a Phantom or whatever the heck it was, a Rolls Royce, Tesla truck. I mean, those type of things you're splurging because everybody at Colorado don't have that. So let's put that money in there and just let it save up, right? And then your father, you really don't need the money. Not saying he doesn't deserve his own, right? But at the end of the day, if it gets to the high school level, it needs to be some type of structure to it to where the money can sit there and wait till these kids get 18 or something, or maybe 21 and use it.
Right. Yeah.
Because you look at the basketball player Juju Watkins, she was on the map as a 9th grader, right? And everybody knew they already knew she was going to SC. So if she had an NIL since 9th grade, receiving thousands and maybe millions from SC, her being from California, Los Angeles, I mean, you just imagine the type of money she had before she went to touch campus.
Exactly. So it's like, man, and that's hard for a lot of kids to deal with, man. I mean,
at the same time, you look at our society, Q, right? How many professors and our coaches and our teachers have trouble with students in class because you can't tell them anything? So now you're creating a millionaire at 14, 15, and 16. Can't tell them nothing
at all. Nah, man. Like imagine, man, you pulling up in high school, like you a junior in high school, right? And say you go to Dorsey, and you go to De La Salle or something, and pulling up in a 911, man. Like a teacher can't tell you nothing, man.
Exactly.
Like what are we talking about?
But you also put a target on you and your family's back too.
You do.
Again,
we said,
the environments that we grew up in, South Central, you got the Houston and Dallas wards, you got the stuff that's going on in Dade County, and you can't do
Yeah,
that stuff, man.
that's
And
facts.
Chicago, and think you're not going to get touched on.
Yeah,
Bottom
that's
line.
true. That's true. That is true. That's a great
That is a
point.
good point. We got a comment here from Cam J. Cam J says, JJ, if you could change one thing from your football career, one thing, what would it be?
Of course, she gonna ask that question, huh? Um, I would say, for my football career, honestly, I probably wouldn't change a thing for the most part, but it does make me think. And I talked to Woods about it. I made Best in the West. Best in the West was the top players from North California, Oregon, Washington, Arizona. I made first team with Tony Gonzalez, Darrell Russell. 22 players. I was number 17 on the list. They all stayed in the Pac-10 at the time, probably except about 6 of us. I was one of those 6, right? The 6 that left the region and the zone, again, back then, we all were lettermen. We all played, but we wasn't the guys, right?
Yeah.
The coaches then had newspapers they would pick up and they read about you. Well, I didn't know until I got to Kansas that Kansas had their own Best in the West per se. It was that mid big 60, whatever the PA teams, the Ohio, and all them
Yeah.
teams. I didn't know that, right? I mean, I'm coming from high school.
Yeah.
So if anything, I probably would have changed was maybe stayed on the West Coast, if
Yeah.
any.
Yeah.
No, that's good because it's a factor, like one thing that I definitely, and this is a thing, man, since I was in high school, coming out late 90s, and I think it still goes on. For whatever reason, man, I don't know if it's what's in the water, if the lifestyle's too fast or something, but guys from Northern California do not usually either get their full breakthrough or do great at USC. It's just a thing, and it happens all the time. And the number of guys who have is very, very minimal.
Right.
So you look at the University of Texas. How many guys from California? So maybe I'm sitting back watching Steve Sarkisian and Archman, and I'm like, ooh, I want to play at Texas. But how many guys from California really break through at Texas? I could probably count them on one hand. Your Ricky Williams, your Xavier Worthies, So I think that is a dynamic, you guys, when you do leave your region sometimes if you get that breakthrough. So I appreciate you.
Well, if you think about it too, the realignment right now of all the conferences, right? It's going to help, I think, with that. So now you have UCLA and SC in the Big Ten, right? So now you're looking at that Big Ten goes all the way to the Atlantic coast in New Jersey, done with Rutgers in Maryland, right? So now the recruiting can open up a little bit more, I would say. But was like to your point, in our era, you didn't see too many North Cal boys down south, but you saw a lot of us up here. It's I don't know. I don't know what the dynamic was. I think maybe LA, like just being that lifestyle and that limelight per se. But at the end of the day,
guys,
man,
a lot of LA guys were prioritized over Bay Area guys for the Cal Berkeleys or the San Jose States. That's why you see the Tom Brady's go off to other places and guys go to other places. How the hell does Cal not get Tom Brady? DJ Williams goes to Miami. So it's very interesting, but no, it's a thing to consider. So I appreciate you saying that.
Definitely. I think too, one thing I just want to throw in, man, is definitely with our era too, fellas. I think y'all can agree. It was, who you, some of your decision making initially, man, was kind of who you grew up watching. Like, for example, me being where I'm from, I didn't see a lot of SC games. I mean, I follow SC and knew, what I'm saying, like all like the, the top dogs, of course, do OJ and Marcus Allen and all, and Junior and all those guys, balling out there. But I grew up watching Notre Dame because that's Midwest. So I was watching Jerome Bettis and Rocket Ishmael and those type of dudes. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, there you go. Exactly. So it's like, man, I can agree with that, man. Sometimes it just does make a little bit more sense, man, even if you're getting heavily recruited you want to leave home, but maybe stay in the region because they know everything about you because they've been following you from day one. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, JJ. Do you think just maybe I know hindsight's 2020, but do you think if you were in today's time you would have went in the portal or would you have stuck it out at KU?
I think today it'd be different though, right? Because of social media. Remember, coaches don't really come out there until it's time to sign, right? The use of huddle. They FaceTime, they doing everything now. But you really don't. Back when our era, again, coaches literally showed up to the game. You knew that they were going to be at the game. Oh, we got about 15 coaches. You got SC, Cal. They just name it Pac-10, a couple Big 8 schools, right? And then that depends on the region you were in. Now, when you got a school out the region to be there, you knew either they were there for you or somebody on the other team. But regardless, you wanted to shine because you typically didn't get that. But with the way football or the technology has allowed the coaches to recruit, and that's where a lot of the older coaches like myself, I still have to transition to it because I'm still thinking coaches are going to come out and talk to the kids. And no, they're going to look at that huddle. If you don't jump out within the first 4 or 5 plays, they're not going to need to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's just that simple.
So your first 3 to 5 plays on huddle need to be amazing. They're not amazing. You just going to be another
Especially if you're coming from high school.
Yeah. I probably will answer for JJ though collectively, in regards to, Coach Mason though. If he would have took that Georgia job like he was supposed to, I think we all would have left. We all would have bounced.
We all would have left.
We all would have been right in Athens chilling.
We all would have
left. Every single one of us, dude, we would have been out.
We all would have left.
We would have been out, dude, for sure.
We wasn't going to go from cold in Kansas to colder in Minnesota.
Nah. But no, he would have went to Georgia, man. We out, dog.
I love it. Well, hey, JJ, man, we've been wanting to have you on the show. We know you got some big things coming, man, so don't leave us in the dark. As soon as everything's ready, come on back on, and let's make sure we serve these kids right.
Man, we'll be ready to roll, man. I appreciate you guys' time as well, man, having me on.
Hey, 4-5, I'll hit you in the AM too, man.
Huh?
I'll hit you in the AM.
Man, come on, man.
Man, I'm gonna hit you, man.
You missed my birthday, buddy. Nah.
I did. See, man, I got the Amazon something like my man house. You see how he's gonna be teeth? He just gonna put me on blast.
I ate him up, man. He just told me, man, I just got off the phone with Ron. So I already knew. Ron told you.
Ron is here.
You see how he put me on blast on my own show. He gonna put me on blast.
Shut down before Guru on the witness protection. We're gonna have Guru on witness protection. All right, JJ. We appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right, you guys. So hey, that is the great JJ Johnson, man. Q. He was a baller for you guys, huh?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, JJ was a killer, man, but just a good dude, man. Like he was, like I said, man. You pray that your kid goes off to school, man, and finds, man, older guys like that when they get there, man. It really takes a big brother role. And helps with the transition, man. And I think that's something, T, that we keep saying that is non-existent because of the portal. You have kids that are going to 3 or 4 different schools, and they just don't develop that brotherly relationship, man, like you and I have. Yeah, man. I mean, man, we having guys come on the show, man. It's been, being our partners, man, for 25 plus years, man. And it's a shame if these kids never get a chance to, to establish relationships like that, like we have, man, with our guys, man. It's just that's supposed to be part of college, man. It really is, and it's not as much now, if at all. But man, that was a large part of college, man. Is you developing an extension of your family from where you from, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And, these kids are getting to the bag, but we always talk about the long-term relationships, that long-term currency, that relationship currency that they won't be able to rely on, man, when they need to. So very, very interesting times. And That's a lot of sauce he gave about guys reclassifying.
Hey, boy, to be honest, like Coach low key, like man, parents have been getting here. Like it's starting to pick up speed, but
Down
this is
south.
nowhere. Yeah, this is nowhere near new. This is nowhere near new, man. Because like I said, with this NIL, parents that know that their kids have talent to play on the next level, they want their kids, if at all possible, man, to come in starting as soon as they touch down, and they're making sure that they're more mentally and physically ready than any other competition coming in with them.
Okay, so hey, whether you do it or you don't, you heard it here, and we're gonna keep you guys up to date on it, and maybe an option that you guys want to use as a family. So that is it for this show, and hopefully you guys continue to join us. Come back next week.
Definitely.
We got more great guests, you guys. There is no off season. There is no off season in football if you want to do this thing at a high level, and Q knows that. And speaking of high level, we've been talking about NIL, you guys, and this is the greatest time ever if you know what you're doing. As a student athlete, if you know what you're doing, this is the best time ever. So you guys check out NILLLC.org. Once again, NILLLC.org. It's going to be coming this spring and summer. And if you want to make money, save money, and grow your money, then it's the spot that you need to check out. Once again, NILLLC.org. Also, please like and subscribe, you guys, and also share the Locker Room Show link with all of your friends, your teammates, your coaches, because this is a labor of love for Q and I, and we're bringing in the best of the best. We're bringing in the best of the best, Q. So a lot more coming your way, and make sure that you guys come back next Thursday and kick it with us. Q, anything for the good people before we get out of here?
No, Coach. I was looking at the calendar, man, on my laptop, man. It's about to be June. It's gonna be, hey man, it's gonna be kickoff here in a minute. Just that
it's
quick.
June tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, when you think about colleges that may play early, August game, they probably go to camp into July.
Yeah. So I mean,
first week in August.
That's a short window, man. I mean, so that again, like Coach said, it doesn't stop. But I mean, we mean that in every sense of the word. Like, I mean, man, it's constant, man. Physically, man, tape, trying to make sure you stay healthy. Which is a big thing in the off season, but man, it's a short window. It's like from the time of your last game to the time of your next, kickoff of the next season, man. When you look at that window in reality, that's a short window, man. It's a short window, so it's about to be that time.
It's about that time, you guys. So hopefully you guys are healthy. You're working your tails off, and keep it simple. If whoever your friend is ain't talking about going to the level you talking about, then that's not the one you work out with. That's not the one you work out with. Keep it simple. Stay around people talking about what you're talking about. All right, you guys, I'm Coach Wood. That's Q the Guru, and we will definitely see you guys at the top. Have a good one.